Greetings, this is Starseed Scotty sharing a astrology horoscope for July 7th, 2018. Going to do a screen share. I want to show you a couple of astrology tools I use for fun. One is planetwatcher.com, another is serenu.com. Serenu is a way to track astrological asteroids, and Planet Watcher is just it has charts of the day, and you can go back and forward to look at like specific times of the transits. So first of all, let's go to planetwatcher.com. So right now it's at 3:30 in Hawaii, and then I can go back and forth with the hour, day, and month. So it's great just to track the transits. So I can go like 1 hour. You see it do a little annotation just to show you how it works. It's really cool. It's like the cosmic weather, I like to call it. You know, time, the linear time of hours is, very Western and very linear, Saturnian. But astrology is quantum, it's Uranian. Right now, the moon, see down at the bottom, is conjunct Uranus. Uranus rules astrology because it shows us that time is multidimensional, past and future can merge, present. When we connect up our light body to the oversoul, which is basically just other worlds. The moon and Uranus together. So that's, I'll just show you how it, actually I can before, but so yes, in a grand trine it looks like with Saturn, our structures, moon and Uranus. I felt really edgy today because Uranus is like unpredictable energy. But Taurus is stable, so there is a kind of paradox there. I think Uranus wants us to change our physical ways to create new, innovative structures in our reality. For me, it's about physical. I do a lot of esoteric physical things, like I do a herbal diet. I like to do a lot of meditation in nature. What else? I like to use essential oils and topically and here and we're energetic, because the physical, we alchemize the physical energy to the etheric, which is basically the quantum information realm. There can be a relationship with both. I believe we can ascend the physical body to vibrate faster, which will allow us to travel to these interdimensional planes. Many of you know about this kind of stuff, and I just intuitively kind of figured around it. So I got a lot of Capricorn energy, and when we work with the structures, because the 3D structure is like a template, when we work with those by doing practical things, have a plan for doing rituals, routines to self-care, which is kind of more Taurus energy. Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto is about the long term, more about structures. What is our vision, our goal? And the vision really is Mercury North Node, which is actually in square. So that's really a challenge for our ego and our mind to Mercury to adjust our self-identity. The adjustment is the quincunx to Saturn, which is right, that little circle in the middle. Because the Saturnian system we're in is very controlling, and it's for a reason. There's a method to the madness of this world. When we understand the dynamics of it, when we don't take responsibility, all of these things come. But when we do take responsibility, then we can start to actually create our own matrix. Many people talk about it. So actually it's not a grand earth trine because Virgo is not involved yet, but Venus here, Leo, is approaching the star Regulus, and she'll be going into Virgo very shortly. That will create a trine with Uranus in probably a few days. So let's see. So that moon Uranus is squaring Leo, North Node, so that's ego asking our, the Mercury and Leo in the North Node is really asking about our future. What is our heart's desire? Opposing Mars is how do we use our hearts, our individuality, for our collective work? I've been noticing a lot of energy coming with online activations, people doing interviews, talking about the age of Aquarius, how can we empower ourselves? Because Mars, our drive, retrograde of Mars is like internalizing, asking us how can we change our internal perspectives on our will, what we want to do, with the bigger picture of Aquarius. Because Aquarius squaring Uranus is kind of an affinity. It's not ritual reception, but it's kind of some form of reception because Aquarius rules Uranus, and they're in different signs. Uranus and Taurus. Yeah, it really seems to me about being more practical and earthly about our will of Aquarius. It's very easy for Aquarius being an air sign to be up in the clouds and just like overly intellectual, especially with Mars is kind of obsessed with the mind stuff, and I have a lot of this with my Mercury and Aquarius. So the Moon and Uranus is really asking us just to feel more, get senses, feel into our impressions, so that those intuitions gives us guidelines to affect our perspective of the outer world and our how we collaborate with others. We're all in this together. Unity and diversity is the Aquarian motto. But we first must have our individual Leo power. We must know ourselves forward and during our interaction with others. This opposition. It is loosely, Uranus and Moon is loosely trining Venus, so there is a kind of passion for our expressing ourselves to others, and the more we relate to others, the more we can find out for ourselves. What else? Sun's in Cancer still on Sirius star. Sirians are very powerful galactics connected with the feminine goddess Isis, which actually I'll look at in the what is this? Well, I'll talk a little bit this first, then I'll go into the asteroids. Still this beautiful grand water trine. It's very emotional and it is kind of harmonious, but I personally be feeling a lot of emotional past life traumas come up because the emotions are such a foundation for our sense of stability, the earthly, but the watery part is Cancer is just that nurturing, and if we don't nurture ourselves, or if we're not aware of the nurturing of the traumas that we all carry through thousands of years of just weird stuff going on in the world, it's all in our emotional body and the collective unconscious as well, Neptune. And Jupiter is really asking us to dive into that. So I feel this water energy, there is a harmony because it's a trine, but I feel the harmony of it wants us to do the shadow work. Jupiter's all in Scorpio, it's all about the shadow. But Neptune is kind of, here's the 3 planets here. Neptune's where my sun's at. It's really asking us to connect to our higher guides, spirit, because we can download information, healing, and nurturing through the trine to Cancer. They're sextiling all of the Earth planets, Uranus and the Moon here, and then Pluto and Saturn. So I feel it's the water is asking us to do the earthly work, because when we nourish our emotions with the earth, when I meditate in nature, I've done so much physical healing of my light body into activated quantum self that I emotionally feel so satisfied and nurtured, and I feel like it's healing just being in nature, because the earth energy has the imprints of the earth's electromagnetic grid that's aligned with our heart. The earth is an anagram for a heart. This is what we learn when we connect the Leo energy to the energy of the Capricorn, Leo and Capricorn twin flames. There's an adjustment because the fire kind of needs to tame with the earth. If that makes sense. Responsibility for our passions. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's kind of a basic idea of the transits. Now, I really want to show you though Serenu with the asteroids. Let's see. I guess I'm going to have to stop the share and then do it again. Probably have to go like this. Please bear with me with technical glitch. I'm just practicing that. I really love using this platform Zoom with the screen share. So fun to, instead of seeing my face, you can actually see some of the practical. I like to focus on the energy and how the astrology is just an amazing way, because we're all affected by this. We're all in the same journey of this Earth matrix. That's why I love astrology, because Aquarian energy of Mars is connected with our unity consciousness, and our unity is found through individuality first. So I've got a lot of Leonian energy with my Aquarius, so I've been practicing my life a lot of balancing back and forth, individual then collective. Our unique skills, our unique gifts, eccentric, alternative, out of norm Aquarius, with our passion, heart, unity of Leo. They are kind of, it's the Sun and Uranus. They do have very different energies, but when you have the solar energy into Uranus, I think that's magic, because it has a magnetism with Leo, and then the electrifying. There's kind of amazing alchemy that can occur, but it does require so much adjustment. So this is, I hope you can see it. This is the chart of the day. Actually, it's tomorrow, but well, actually, no, it's universal time, so it's the time will change. But the moon is actually, if I do a little circle here, the moon is on Uranus, just past it. So this is about 3 or 4 hours from now. Where is my circles? All right, let's do purples for fun. So you see the circle here inside. Large this. No, well, you can probably see it. Moon here is with Uranus, and all of the asteroids around it are conjoining the moon Uranus. So these asteroids, my intuitive hunch is that they add like a flavor or tone to the energy, just like how when 2 planets come together, like over here, Mercury and the North Node, it adds a lot more mental energy to our emotional, subconscious, lunar North Node energy. So on this last circle here, Moon and Uranus, it's conjoining. Uranus is conjoining Juno in Taurus. Juno is the asteroid goddess of marriage, partnership. I haven't studied her too much, but I have Juno in Aries, and she's taught me all about my individuality is a gift. When I know myself, I can be better in relationship with others. In Taurus, I think it's much more about a relationship to our body, because Taurus is really, really that fixed earth. And Uranus is changing. And I can tell you, I've transformed my draconic, which is a different chart based on the nodes. I believe that, yeah, check it out, Google it, draconic. My draconic Venus Jupiter is in midheaven, is in these degrees. So I've, and that's conjoining Uranus. And so I've really been initiated into transforming my body. And as I've said in other videos, I don't eat food anymore. I pretty much have like a herbal drink diet. And I've done this for various reasons, for light body activation and bliss, healing. And it's all for that Uranian connection to the quantum world, because if our body is a superconductor, then when it vibrates at that purity level of high vibrations, then we can tune in and out. And I noticed this is with the earth energy. So I take the herbs because they're pure earth elements. I take hundreds of herbs from all over the world. Don't need to go into this too much, but Juno is our relationships. So when we have a relationship of love with our body, then that will reflect on the external. And I know this is a lot because I can change just my presence in certain places. It's not me, it's my physical body vibrating at a high level. And my ego can go out of the way, and it's like a movie, and it's pretty amazing what can happen. We can all do this. So that adds one little tone to this energy. There's a lot of other asteroids here that I'm not too familiar with, so I can't really speculate too much. Hermes is an Aries on Andromeda galaxies. Hermes is healing. He is this historical figure. So that is another tone that where our Uranus is asking us to really heal. Yeah, these I really consider like a 5. Some people say only 2-degree orbs, but because all these asteroids are within our solar system, I think it's different than fixed stars, because fixed stars are literally millions of light years away, most of them. They're very far away, so they give, usually these pioneering astrologers give a 2-degree orb because they're so far away. But in our solar system, you know, the planets, we usually give 10-degree orb, right? If it's outer planet, probably less, but all of these asteroids are within the solar system, so I consider, you know, 5-degree orbs for the energetic contact. So with Mercury, let's look at the Sun here, because it's conjoining Isis, which is very symbolic. So there's Isis and there's the Sun. Isis is the goddess of Egyptian times. I don't know so much, but she is correlated to Sirius, which is where the Sun is, fixed star Canis Major. So this is a really interesting conjunction. Cyrus is tied with at 2 degrees with Isis too, because they were like king and queen in historical times. Hades, god of the underworld, is also here. I believe I'm not sure if he's Greek mythology, but this just adds a holographic, multidimensional tone to the stories of the past that connect to our present and future. This is why intuitively, asteroids to me seems like the next stage of our astrological evolution. If we study all these archetypes and connect them to our planetary understandings, I believe we can really, really just connect to this holographic, multidimensional astrological system that we're kind of in it, but I think we can go back and forth out of it and see it. It's the Aquarian energy and Uranian. That squares add intention. They can be real conflict, but it can also allow us to kind of spring, like with that electrical exploration. So let's see, what else could I share? In Leo, we have Mercury and conjunct Lilith. I have a lot of Lilith energy, and Lilith, the dark goddess, in some ways, and she's the wild part of us. And I think with Mercury there, she's asking us to find our feminine passion, like that instinctive, heart-based, just it's passion. But all the other asteroids around that, Hecate, Prasmius, Apophis, is something to do with a dark underworld energy. So these are all adding this kind of relationship dynamic, and I can't really speculate because I haven't studied these yet, but I just want to bring them out so that we can have an idea. And this is Sereno.com. It's a subscription to see this, but you can look at the other transits for free as a chart. I like to look at the wheel because this gives a nice perspective of it. With Venus here at the bottom, as it approaches Virgo, it's going to be conjoining Isis, Trans-Pluto, and Ceres. This is very nurturing energy. I think this is going to be very healing as it trines to Uranus. Isis, Trans-Pluto, I have my ascendant, and she's really taught me that being self-reliant and independent, because this asteroid is around the Pluto area, so it's all about transformation. And It's being in Virgo, it's on the Regulus, I think it's purity. It's like it's transforming through our physical purity and seeing that we can alchemically, by being a vessel for spirit, by being a conduit and a channel to allow the energies to come through us, it's beyond our mind, our ego mind of what can happen. Because Venus and Leo now is very self-absorbed, but Virgo is about once we know ourselves and our passions, then we can be service. And that's what Virgo is so beautiful at. With Ceres here, Ceres is the asteroid goddess of grain, nurturing. She's very motherly goddess energy. A lot of civilizations worshipped her as a grain goddess for for providing bountiful harvests and things. And I think Greek mythology, she has a story of being of creation, just really tapping us into the mother, because this planet is very feminine, very motherly, and we can all have that nurturing quality. And I find when I observe others in a spiritual way, then I can, as a male, I can have a motherly energy. And that's for ourself in service to care, and then outside in the world of whatever work we do can be of spiritual service. That's, to me, so empowering, so healing. So let's see. Chiron in Aries is conjoined Astrea, which is right judgment. It's looking for the truth. Chiron in Aries is really looking at our self, or like instinctive self, or like our drives, healing the wounded ego that we all have trauma of, because there's a lot of acting, and the Leo energy is showing us that the roles we put on sometimes we have to just not pretend, but because of the hard Capricornian forces in this 3D matrix, many of us are forced to do things just for survival. And so that kind of hard energy of Capricorn, disciplined, emotionally restricted, posing the Cancer energy, can really put issue, like really fragment our ego and ask us, what is our true self? We have to act outside and with others in this game, and we can be playful about it, Leo. But with Aries, it's really that drive of survival instinct. And so Chiron is conjuncting Astrea, which is like asking us, what is the truth of ourself? And then Hygeia is kind of a Virgoan asteroid, healing and purification, keywords. The other ones, Cilicia, I don't know about. Industria, I don't really know about either. But with Hygeia and Astrea, it's healing. It's a lot of themes of healing. Most of these asteroids are related to healing and transformation, because it seems that's part of this whole higher learning, this world that we can choose when we go into the spiritual paths of many kinds. There's a lot of action here with Sagittarius. There's no planets here. I like to look at the planets first, because the planets are like the chakras. They're like the tones, 7 big major centers of our body. And asteroids can be considered a little bit of the meridians, or they add like a different expression of the chakra or the planet. So with Saturn here, it's conjunct Hylomene. I don't know, can't say anything. But it's really interesting. It's very close. They're both retrograde. Pluto is conjunct Clotho, whatever that is. It's just fascinating, because it's a learning and teaching process at the same time. Intuitively, a lot of these asteroids can come up in our own charts. When we look at our asteroid birth chart, then we can correlate transits to that. That seems to be a way to kind of dive into this, because there's a lot. You see here, there's literally 100 asteroids or so. Mars is conjunct Siwa, not Shiva, the Indian, because that's actually another one. Siwa is Baltic goddess from the Baltic region of Europe. So kind of like a feminine energy of some kind. Ophelia sounds feminine as well. I'm not too sure. Maybe someone knows about that. You can share a little comment. Yeah, okay, let's get Jupiter here. So in this next circle, Jupiter is conjunct Psyche. Psyche I have on my progress mid-heaven, relocated mid-heaven. And Psyche, as the name indicates, is about psychic attunement. Jupiter retrograde, I've really enjoyed. It's on my Pluto right now, so it's transforming me, an expansion of the Jupiterian energy with the dark underworld Pluto. Psyche is when we tune in our psyche, because Scorpio is all about that higher mind of the emotions, in how the mind and emotions are somehow fused. If any of you watched the movie Doctor Strange, that has a lot of Scorpio. Actually, when that came out, that movie, I believe the Sun was conjunct Pluto. No. Sun was conjunct my Pluto. Sun was transiting at 12 degrees when it came out. This astrology can be shown in every single thing is interconnected through this astrology. So when we look at cast charts for specific times, birthdays of celebrities, birthdays of events. I'm just starting this, but every time I look at something, I can just intuitively draw the connections, which is fascinating. So this Scorpio energy, yeah, in the Doctor Strange movie, that guru who's a woman, which is very auspicious because most gurus in our history are men. But I think that movie really invited us to show that there's a whole world of women who are seers and mystics, and thousands of years, there's a dark history of repression of the divine feminine. And part of my mission is to be like a Trojan horse for the goddess energy. I have many feminine archetypes in my chart. And as a male, I feel I can embody the feminine energy in a balanced way with my masculine energy. And vice versa, I like to follow women who have a masculine energy of the intellect. I have a lot of earth and water energy, so that's feminine. So these things can all harmonize, and gender doesn't need to play into it. There's a lot of gender politics going on. I've been noticing online, people talking about their will with Mars and drive, and I guess it's the North Node in Leo as well, about, Leo's identity, solar part, or heart, and I think that's really. But one back to the movie Doctor Strange, the guru lady in that, I can't remember her name. She's bald and she looks like a monk, but she's she has a lot of power, and she's kind of inspiring to the hero in that movie, the ancient one. Yeah, that's her name. I love that scene because she introduces the astral plane, and astral plane is very Uranian to me. It's the plane of the informational realm that we can all travel through. We actually travel through all the time. It's just because we've been conditioned in 3D for thousands of years, we only see with our physical eyes the outer matrix code, like a matrix movie. But really, in our imagination and our physical light body connection to the informational realms, we're traveling, we're going to other planes. It's just like that movie, Doctor Strange. If you've seen it, you'll probably relate. There's that scene when she touches on the forehead, and she says, "Open your eye," and that's to me the inner eye. Because two eyes we see is really probably less than 1% of what's going on. Many of these physicists talk about it, the dark matter. I'm not so versed on it, but she says to him that it's the world where mind meets matter. And that really struck with me, my Scorpio energy, because it's an experience where our mind is merged with matter and actually transcends matter, because we're traveling in the quantum. The quantum is not bound by time and space. So what is it? It's kind of like an extra sensory world. Jupiter is expanding our awareness to this. Conjunct Callion, please share if you know what that is. Hera, sounds like a goddess of some kind. Poseidon, I have a little information that Poseidon is a higher octave of Neptune. The glyph of Poseidon, you can actually draw it, is like Neptune, but it's the other way around. So Neptune's like this, Poseidon is like this. They're not really accurate. It's going up and down instead of left and right. So many astrologers have actually listened to them. They talk about how the symbols have direct correlations to the meaning, just as everyone else in astrology can be intercorrelated. Aquarian, Uranian. It's not a very good. Let's see if I can draw that a little better. Here's Neptune. Oh, sorry, Pisces. I think it's like that, or maybe it's the Neptune glyph, but in any case, it's instead of, yeah, you get the idea. So what this indicates to me, and with Pisces, the left and the right is like the two spheres of spirit and matter, is the dualistic sign. The up and down, though, with Poseidon is horizontal, is like the energy of the 3D Saturn plane, or the duality of good and bad, or the Neptune is like kind of emotional back and forth we go with between spirit and reality, because that's why there's a lot of delusion and illusion and dreams associated with Neptune. Because what is a dream and what is reality? I have my sun in Neptune my whole life. My North Node in Pisces has taught me my whole life is like this bizarre dream. We're all dreaming 24 hours a day. And our power of Leo is and Aries and fire is we can create our dream. So Poseidon here is connecting us to scorpionic overtone of a higher spirituality. Because the up and down to me indicates it's like more direct channeling from spirit. And it's retrograde with Jupiter, so it's our internal connection with spirit. And we can connect on many ways. There's millions of ways to connect to spirit. It's our, spirituality can be seen in everything. But there are key points of, surrendering, letting go, because Neptune quincunxing Leo is, and also it squares to Sagittarius Gemini, is there's a conflict between the mind and the emotions, that spirit is kind of transcending mind and emotions. And I'm still figuring this out. It's very multidimensional, but I think part of the game is we just kind of play by the place that we're at. Is there anything else here? The galactic center is 27 Sag. That's kind of a key point. It's not really being activated now, so I won't talk about it. Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, I'll leave it at that because I haven't really studied this too much today. But I hope this inspires somebody, because when we study astrology, the energies can directly relate to our current experiences. I don't know about you, but I'm going through a lot of transformation. The dark is coming out. And the dark is not ours, it's just kind of karmic stuff. A lot of it's past life, a lot of it's inherited from others, a lot of it's collective unconscious. And one of the biggest lessons I have came up with recently, well, actually the last few years, is the discernment of Jupiter, discerning what is ours and what is other people's. Because I'm an empath, a lot of Pisces energy, and I have become my environment. I can become others. And that is really beautiful for healing, and it's to feel others, to become one, merge. But if we just merge with everything, then we don't learn. I've said once that our kindness can be taken for weakness. We must be strong because there's a lot of very dark agendas out there. I don't mean to be a fearmonger, but I can see through the veils. I can see, when I see people, I can read their energy. And what I read usually is implants, parasites, basically energetic forms that are in people that are unnatural. And I define unnatural as something that's inharmonious, because I really believe that our body is very advanced, millions of years galactic civilizations, and it's our essence is love and harmony. So if we're out of harmony, then there's a story to that. And without going into too much detail, an analogy would be if we don't take responsibility and care of our home, cancer, then the dark, there will be Jupiter and Scorpio will reveal to us through karma things that come up. Like, we don't clean our place, then bugs or cockroaches will come. That's a very classic, simple analogy. And our relationships, if we don't clean and have care for others or ourselves, Taurus, then we'll start to see the shadow of projection of negativity in so many ways, of lying, greed, things, just behaviors that are not of our highest order. So yeah, I would just encourage you all to flow with this water energy. Neptune's going to help it flow, connect, just going with intuitive connections with our environment. Jupiter's, asking us to look deep. What is the truth? What is our way to unfold things inside of us that can be jewels? Because Scorpio and Pluto is transformation of the soul, and the dark stuff can be the catalyzing for our transformation. Just like a lotus, beautiful lotus flower, it grows from the dirt. Simple analogy, but it can be applied to our physical life. The mucky stuff, heavy energy, is there for a reason. And we don't look at it, it just builds and builds and builds. Just like if we don't clean something, it's just going to kind of get worse. But when we do take care of it, then it can be the fuel for the phoenix rising from the ashes. So yeah, the squares are kind of heavy, kind of intense, with Uranus and Mars. But the Earth is really giving stability. So it's great just to connect to our bodies, eat well, drink well, think about nourishment. To nourish our body is to nourish our emotions, and then we can nourish our mind with Mars and Mercury and Leo, self and other. So I hope this helps. Please feel free to share any comments, and I look forward to connecting sometime soon. Sending love and aloha from Hawaii.